everyone, and welcome to a studio painting session where I basically just paint and chat about it all. I am in the process of finishing off a unicorn oil painting, which actually has turned out not too bad. It kind of has gone through some real crazy moments, but it's in the stages of the end stages, so I just thought I'd show it to you and do a little painting on that, as well as opening up a new canvas and some new sort of palettes and things, and I'm probably going to start a new painting as well, so I do hope you enjoy it. The palettes that I'm using at the moment are these Winsor & Newton, and it's upside down, these Winsor & Newton tear off disposable palettes, and they're actually really brilliant because you can just throw them away after you've used them, obviously, but you can, because they're quite a big size, this is a little cheat, you can actually chop them up, naughty, and then reuse, sort of use the little squares. So actually I never paint on such a big, it's my enemy. So this is what the palette looks like. I feel like this is being sarcastic, great value, when it's quite expensive, I think, considering the pages are so thin. However, now I feel like I can't live without it, so even if it was double the price, I would still buy it. Such a, sad life of the artist. But yeah, they're really amazing, and they're by Winsor & Newton. I think quite a few brands do them, and there's 50 pages in this one, so I think it would take me a while to use up. Oh, and I'm cutting them into 3 each time, and so it will save some paper. I'm just going to now cut some palette, and I'm also going to open a new stretch canvas. This is always really exciting. So this is my canvas of choice these days, straight from Italy, absolutely amazing quality. I think it's primed 7 times. I may have misread that, but I think it is 7 times. It's absolutely incredible. And it's, of course, linen, so just like ripping this open, great fun. I'm just going to do final touches to this painting of this unicorn in an enchanted forest. And I've been taking my time over this because halfway through I got a bit stuck and wasn't too sure how I was going to complete the painting. So in the end I decided to add a lot more contrast and variations of light, and that certainly saved this painting from being slightly doomed and uniform. And here on this little magical mushroom, I'm adding some highlights with these Gamblin oil colours. And I decided to make these giant mushrooms in amongst this magical forest. And really the concept behind this painting is that moment when you see something that you don't think could be real, but is. It's that magical. And it's based on a time when I was on a walking trip, and I was walking towards where I was staying, and right across from me walked this beautiful family of deer. And it was the most serene, incredible, surreal moment. And I don't think I can ever be able to describe how wonderful that moment was. So I thought I would try to make it into a painting. And of course it was deer, not a unicorn, but it's just that concept of seeing something so magical. And I'm sure that everyone has had a moment in their life when they have experienced this in nature. And with these mushrooms, I was sort of decided to do lots of different colours. They're not based on any mushroom in particular, because I don't know if any mushroom like this actually exists. I really wanted them to have these really spindly stalks, but to be really tall, to the point where they were as tall as the unicorn, and have this kind of jagged top to them, so jaggedy and unearthly, as if they've been kind of living there for years and years. And I just love that ancient feel with forests. You've got the really old trees and the beautiful old shrubs and very unique type of plants. So I just really liked that concept. I'm just using a little dabbing technique with this tiny fine detail brush just to get the accents on the mushrooms as just right. So this is the final result. I do hope you like it and that you feel it is magical. If you could, let me know whether you like my fantasy magical paintings, or if you prefer some more realistic still lifes that I've done, or just more realistic paintings, because I never really know what people enjoy to see. As as somebody who's been painting for quite some time, I have quite a varied portfolio, so I never know what pleases other people, and it's always fascinating for me. So there we go, that's this little painting done. I hope you liked it. And I know this sounds odd, but I really hate signing my name on paintings. Not because I don't like my painting or anything, it's just I have terrible handwriting. Here goes nothing. You can tell that the concentration here is higher than any other part of my painting. The G was made. I don't have any ideas for my next painting, but I do have a tiny piece of paper. It's just a thick piece of paper, so I can paint on it. So I think I'm going to do like a little mini portrait and use up the paint that I've got out as well. So I decided to do a self-portrait, and this kind of went a bit wrong because the paper was so small, and I thought I can hold my camera in one hand and this piece of paper in another, and it was almost impossible to paint. So in the end, I thought, okay, I'll get some masking tape and stick this down, but then I couldn't find my scissors, so I ended up just ripping the masking tape, so it looks really horrible and not very classy. But anyway, I decided to use quite a limited palette for my self-portrait. This is different from when I paint fantasy landscapes, then all the colours come out, although particularly green, pink, reds and purples, blues as well. Whereas with these kind of portraiture that I do at the moment, I tend to stick a lot to the very muted colours, soft browns, some blues for the cooler areas, and then the warmer areas get a kind of flash of yellow, but mostly it's more in the very subtle tones and subtle transitions. And in this painting, the brush marks are very pronounced. I do like this technique and I do enjoy it because this is just a really loose study and it's nothing too precise, and it just gives a nice sense of freedom with the brushwork, and so there doesn't need to be necessarily such a strict, precise, very thoroughly blended area. Of course, if I was painting a really large portrait, I might be a bit more considerate about these things, though sometimes I do paint portraits with a very loose technique. And I just really like to play with the light on the face. I think that gives a nice feeling, it gives a mood, and expression as well is fun to create. So I do hope you like it. It was just a quick little portrait, self-portrait. It only took about 30 minutes. And I did enjoy doing it, just relaxing and trying to think of ideas for my next painting. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your beautiful comments. Don't forget to subscribe, of course. And I will see you in my next video. Take care, guys.